Hello everyone, I am Shipra Tholia, Assistant Professor in Department of German Studies. We have a special guest today. She is Professor Aimee Pozorski from Connecticut State University, USA. And she has come here from USA especially to visit Banaras Hindu University under GIAN program. And she is specialized in trauma studies. So, Amy, can you tell us little bit about what is this trauma studies? Because we don't have this as a discipline in BHU.
First, thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation and the wonderful warm welcome and this lovely stay for the last 5 days. I got interested in trauma studies in the late 1990s and was interested in it as a literature scholar. Literature looks at how things are represented. And so I thought trauma studies was like an excellent angle to pursue my interest in representation and close reading of literature, especially as it applies to traumatic events, events that occur to us, whether it be in like the form of kind of generational moments or everyday little um, ongoing experiences with difficult um, ways of being in uh, difficult ways of existence.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. And it's very true and relevant. Every day we are facing some kind of trauma, be it physical or mentally. So, how would you recommend as a discipline? Like, if we in BHU we have literature studies, but we don't have trauma studies as an independent discipline. So, what would you say that our like, how would you encourage our students to read about trauma studies?
Well, I think the interdisciplinary part of our seminar was really important. It brought together people who do film studies, who do psychology, who do medicine, who do justice, who do literature. And so I love the fact that trauma studies is not a single discipline. It doesn't really live comfortably in one department or another, but brings together people from all different kinds of disciplines into a special conversation that draws on so many different ways of seeing the world. So I think you cannot have a trauma studies with one discipline. It can't be owned by the English department or comparative literature. It has to look across the fields to the sciences, to law, to medicine, and that's what makes it truly special.
That's very nice of you saying that it's not under the custody of one department. How about we talk about a collaboration between CCSU, your university, who's doing, which is doing a lot of work in trauma studies, and BHU. Like, what possibilities do you see?
Yes, so many. I mean, so since we said that trauma studies is exemplary in the sense that it crosses disciplinary lines, I also think it's significant in the sense that it crosses geographic or national lines or continental lines. It can only be made stronger if we put like a Central Connecticut State perspective alongside BHU, and alongside connections that you might have and others have in Germany and around the world. But specifically, like I know there's this kind of organic relationship that the two of us share, right? Like our collaboration for the humanities special issue on trauma, ethics, and illness has like suggested that there's so much to be gained for collaboration, and of course, like well into the future. I noticed that so many of your students are interested in narratology. We talked about convergences of theoretical methods. We talked about trauma studies and post-colonial studies. We talked about trauma studies and narrative medicine, but trauma studies and narratology, like that's a natural fit. They both look at structures and representing structures of experiences. And then, like your work on post Holocaust representation also is so relevant to a conversation about how you talk about something that seems unspeakable. So, a lot of future work to be done.
Yeah, that's a good news for everyone. Like we are on this road already, and I'm sure we will strike some deal. So I want to ask this in the interest of our students, and they wish to know what trauma studies hold for them, like what kind of career opportunities are available, especially for literature students, and not and for other students, those who don't want to become psychiatrists but they want to pursue their career in trauma studies.
Yes. So yeah, I think like the first thing people think of when we think of trauma scholarship is learning the theory, the methodology, some key literary texts to become professors someday to teach students in an academic setting. But what's so brilliant about trauma studies is it has an appeal and a use beyond the academy, right? We can kind of think about how a trauma studies approach will help those who are going into the medical humanities, going into therapy or social work or licensed psychologists. It's so important for the legal system. We have a couple of legal scholars who are a part of this seminar. Um, uh, uh, it's important for just kind of being a person in the world, right? We emphasize so much the importance of ethical listening and ethical witnessing. And so for me, I found that it's been useful just as a way I carry myself in like everyday experiences. But just in terms of like careers, lots of places and opportunities within the academy. This is a growing field. They are looking for professors who teach from this perspective, but you don't need to have a PhD in literary studies. There are all kinds of careers in this world that value a trauma studies approach.
And so my question would be now not related to academics, but how was your experience overall in BHU and in Varanasi?
It's been a lovely experience. I mean, thanks to our student leaders and student hosts. So I've been saying I've been a little tired this week. I feel like a college student. We would work together all day in the seminar setting, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we would go out in the evenings and learn about Varanasi. It's such a spiritual city. I've kind of picked up the wonderful spiritual atmosphere. And then I'd go back to our lodging and prepare for the next day and stay up, until 4 or 5 in the morning. So I'm trying to absorb every possible thing that I can, both in terms of academics, but also culturally, socially. And that's all due to your wonderful hospitality, going out and having lassi and cold coffee and buying earrings and scarves. So I thank you. All of those made me a better scholar of the world.
Thank you so much. That was very enlightening. And I thank you again for coming here and giving us such wonderful lectures and making this course possible. So thank you so much. And I wish you a happy journey.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
support and for inviting me. Thank you.